All right, Vikings Weekly. Week, I'm not really sure.
12, I believe. Yeah.
What week is it?
12.
Week 12. All right. We beat the Packers, so we're basically coming off of like a Super Bowl. Any game after beating the Packers is a trap game. But yeah, how are you feeling about everything that went down?
Obviously, I was cynical the last couple of weeks. I thought that we wouldn't beat the Chargers. I thought we'd lose to the Packers, and then they were going to fire Mike Zimmer. But the team has responded well. We've rattled off 2 wins. We outright beat the Pack, toe injury or not. I don't care. Penalties, whatever you want to call it, reviewing, Cousins getting bailed out a couple times. At the end of the day, we came away with a W. That's all that matters. Team's back to 500. We got a crucial road game here in the NFC. We got to differentiate ourselves now with the rest of the teams in our conference. Tiebreakers are really crucial this time of year as well. Keep saying the word crucial. That's going to be the key component today. How are we going to respond? You're absolutely right. You said it just moments earlier. Always a trap game following the Packers W, right?
Well, especially because now we've finally proven that we can beat anybody. If you can beat the Packers in rival times, we can beat anybody. So there's not one game that we should ever walk into anymore and have any level of fear. But at the same time, we've proven that with our record, even with the arsenal of talent that we have, we still haven't been able to finish a lot of crucial games when it gets down to the wire.
Right. Yeah. The one that sticks out to you, obviously Baltimore, the big one that we kind of left that one. I felt like we should have got the W there. Keep harping on that Cardinals win, the one that I went to, the game that I went to. And I'm glad that we were able to overcome that late game adversity against the Packers. That showed us a lot. Now, are we going to turn the corner? Are we going to continue to progress as a team here, or are we going to take a step back this week on the road? So that's something we got to keep an eye on and keep our pulse keep our hand on the pulse of this team here. If we can run the ball a little bit more, control the clock, keep throwing the ball deep to Jefferson, I think we have a real shot at beating the Niners.
Yeah, we don't need to be running the ball. That's the whole thing. I like it.
Why? You don't like running the ball? You don't like that component of it?
I don't think it's necessary. Like whenever we continue to let up a little bit on the gas by throwing it deep, giving Jefferson chances, keeping Thielen in the mix, that's when we find ourselves kind of falling off. And every single end of half, right? The last 2 minutes of the half, I think they even showed it, where we had given up more points, I think, than any other team in the league at this point with the last 2 minutes of the half. And that's what we try to be too cute. We try to just slow it down and just get into halftime, get back within ourselves. And that's when other teams kind of put on the gas and we find ourselves just losing so much momentum every time that we just start relying on Dalvin, because it really ends up not being Dalvin Cook's fault. It ends up being our defensive's ability to actually respond to field position issues that puts us in.
Yeah, I understand. The reason why I want us to run the ball here is because the Niners, they just control the clock. They'll do that to us. So I'd just rather have us have the ball running it down their throats than them to do it to us. I'm a little bit terrified about how our team's going to respond with our rush defense. So when they played the Jacksonville Jaguars last week, the Niners had a 21 play drive, resulted in a field goal, but that's a 21 play drive, a 13 minute, 21 play drive scares the shit out of me. If we don't have Cousins, having enough time to throw the ball deep and find a receivers, if they're gonna really wrap themselves around us like that, dude, I don't like the Vikings' chances. I don't like it when we don't have time of possession. I don't like it when our defense is out there for 70 plays, 80 plays like we were against the Ravens. That's what scares me. That's why I think
our defense we can't hang with that. We don't have the caliber of defense to do anything with that. You see it all the time where we're kind of on our heels and on our toes when we're on D, and which sucks.
We're like the 28th or the 29th ranked defense. Our offense is the one that's going to win us games. Cousins, outplaying the other quarterback. That's really it at this point. That's what this team's identity has become. We're just not. We can get after the quarterback a little bit. I don't know if we're going to really lose that now with Everson Griffin being gone. You see a lot more times they're trying to put Harrison Smith in the box more and like shake things up a little bit, leave our back end a little bit more exposed, dude. But like, I'm not liking where we're at. I think we give up a bevy of plays. I don't think at the end of games, I like it if the Niners have possession, they're running the ball down our throats. Like, that scares me. That's not a good recipe for winning. And so if Cousins doesn't throw for 300 plus yards and have 3 passing touchdowns, I don't think we win this game.
The Niners still have McKinnon. Who are they running with?
No, he's on the Chiefs. They got some dudes. They got this Deebo Samuel's kind of like a gadget player that is like a wide have coming in and out of the backfield. But they give a lot of their carries to Jeffrey. They have a guy, Jeffrey Wilson, last week that went off. Not really super well known, but he's out of North Texas.
Okay.
So, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, he only averaged 2.6 yards a play, but they mix it up with Samuel. They gave him 8 carries. Last week, Trey Sermon out of Ohio State, a 3rd-round pick. They like him. But you have to remember we also got that tight end, George Kittle. He's a nice player too. Good blocker as well. Garoppolo doesn't really scare me. Like, it's going to be, if they beat us, it's going to be their run game, just like driving it right down the heart of our defense.
Yeah, that's real.
And controlling the clock.
What do we have to do? So what do you feel about this Everson Griffin stuff? Like, what was your mind in what he was doing? What's going on in his brain? Do we lose him for the season over this? Like, where are we at with that?
Right. Yeah. So he comes in, it was sort of like medium to low risk, high reward, right? I mean, like, if he can get back to where he was a couple years ago for the Vikes, that's a win, right? Coming into this season. And that's exactly what it did for us. He put pressure on the quarterback. He looked like the old number 97. It's a fantastic addition. I was like, man, this couldn't have gone any better for us, especially since we lost, whether like we were not really great. Who did we lose? Daniil Hunter last year. It's like, it looked like our defensive end position was really, really thin. DJ Wanham didn't really do it for us. He was a rookie. Showed some flashes, but wasn't really there. But like, Everson consistently came out firing off the ball, got after the quarterback. Our pass rush looked great, right? And now the worst case scenario happens where he goes literally psycho on Instagram Live. Instagram, a story, whatever, posting some weird screenshots. No idea what this guy's frame of mind is like. Is he doing drugs? Is he doing right? It's like, I don't know. It's something clearly like mental health related, right? So at this point, I don't count on him doing anything for this team the rest of the year, period. If we have any snaps whatsoever from this guy the rest of the year, it's like, it's a simple miracle. That's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you see a video like that where, he's claiming that he shot the gun inside of his house. He definitely looks pretty spooked. And it doesn't feel like it has much legitimacy around it. It just looks like it's more of a mental thing. And then he even like throws Dalvin Cook under the bus where he's like, oh, and Dalvin gave me the gun. It's like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, totally spun out of control.
Like, is this some sort of straw purchase that you're admitting to, or like what's going on with it? Just a little odd thing. It's like, are there now going to be criminal charges? Are they going to look into this now? Like,
well, because with his mental health issues before, I bet he can't own a gun.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, Dalvin Cook hooked you up with it. Is this like a straw purchase? It's tough for us to really speculate. I don't really want to get into it, but it's like, man, that's just a weird look. You wonder how the team responds, honestly. And that to me is key. It's like, what's this? This team is very closely knit. I feel like we got some solid guys in the locker room, like a lot of friends on the team, like Barr and Kendricks. We got some quality dudes. Dalvin Cook, obviously, we talked about. It's like one of the leaders on the team. Kirk Cousins seems to be becoming that guy a little bit, right? Tiny bit. I don't know.
Yeah. With the way he's playing, he's obviously leading through action like really well. And when if you're willing to step up and not make huge mistakes, even though he got wildly lucky on that pick with 2 minutes left. The fact that was just dropped, most cornerbacks in the league are going to actually pick that pick up. It was an errant throw that didn't. It was a game-ending throw where he blew it, and we just got lucky enough that guy drops it. But
Zimmer said he liked the aggressiveness, and he would have liked for Cousins to continue doing that. Cousins admitted after, hey, that was a little too aggressive for me. So it's this weird kind of like cat and mouse game between Zimmer and what Zimmer wants and Kirk Cousins again. They have their little 45-minute team meeting. They both really like that as well. So I'm just curious to see how this team responds, how Cousins responds to all this extra noise with Everson Griffin now. Big team win against the Packers, but are we due for a letdown, right? So that's the big question. How legit is this team? Are we going to rise above 500? Are we going to take control of our own destiny here in the NFC North? And definitely put a stranglehold on that wild card position with the win, right?
Yeah.
But too many question marks here, LJ. I'm not really sure how I feel. I want to say I have confidence in this team, but at the same time, you just don't know how they'll come out, right?
Yeah. My nerves today are feeling that there could be a lag because of just the entire stress of the season, having all these close games, eking a win out from the Packers. A win today would be pretty amazing, and it might be a little surprising for me. I obviously think that they should win. We have all the capacity, but we've definitely struggled with focus. And if there was one week that focus could be harder than any week, it would be this one.
I feel that. I understand that.
Or off the field stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. There's just too many question marks on our defense. We just don't know. So I'm gonna say we take a loss here. We keep it close. The spread is -3.5. It's tough to take the Vikings, just looking at it. But Zimmer always seems to cover the spread on the road. So I don't know. We could come out and look great too. I have such a hard time predicting anything with this team now. We're just kind of bipolar, honestly. It's just it is what it seems like. It's like we have such a high ceiling, but then we come out and play such piss poor games too, especially in the second half. So
right. Well, what's so annoying too is we could easily come out the next 4 games, be wildly dominant, and take a whole new position on the season. Really start scaring all the teams in the NFC. That's all available to us. So, the conversation in the locker room really has to be that typical BS of you control your own destiny, which is complete reality in this case. And we have the ability to show the entire league that our record doesn't speak to the truth of where our skill level is at. But it's really on the squad to take ownership in that.
Well, let's look at the NFC. None of these teams really scare me. The Buccaneers, they're down right now, 10 points. Cardinals, like I said, I think if we face them again, we beat them. Rams don't really scare me. They've shown vulnerabilities. There's just crazy talk for me to say, dude. But if we topple the Niners, why not us to win the NFC, right? But if we start, or if you lose to the Niners and we look dumb doing it, stick a fork in this team too, kind of. You know what I mean? It's a weird year. Sure. It's a weird year.
That's definitely where we're at. What do you find the score being today? Where are we at? How do we pull this thing off?
I have no idea. I can't even get a gauge on this, honestly. Like I thought I was like, after we beat the Packers, I'm like, we're going to beat the Niners, but I have a tough time imagining that we just come away with the W. I don't know. I don't have like a whole ton of faith in this team, despite the Packer win. So I'm going to say,
what if they do it for Griffin? What if
they rally around him?
What if instead of a distraction, this becomes the rallying call to be like, we all need to focus? Because I could also see this. You have a lot of young guys that are being a little bit wild, maybe, drinking too much, going out too much. They see one of the old guys like Griffin lose his mind over it. This is a sobering week. This also could clean up all of the riffraff that could potentially have been going on. And everyone's like, dude, we need to focus and we need to get our shit together. Let's rock and roll. So I'm a big winner for Griffin today.
Okay. So we talked about reasons why this team would lose, distractions. Give me some reasons why we'd win. Okay. You think we rally around? So Griffin could be a double-edged sword is what we're trying to get at here, right?
Yeah. I think he
reason
can focus.
Why I think we win. So Kirk Cousins used to be Kyle Shanahan's, understudy, right? When he was for Washington. Maybe Kirk decides to come out. Hey, let me prove to Kyle I still got it. Comes out and wins this game. I don't know. Maybe a stupid take there, but a lot of this falls on the shoulders of Kirk Cousins. If he can come out, look sharp, continue to protect him, give him a lot of room and time in the pocket, I think we no question win. But again, this team is just so freaking anemic. We don't know what we get in offense week to week.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins doesn't deserve any of the flack yet. He honestly has not lost us a game to this point. He's played well. There's nothing to really point at with Kirk and say he's been an issue ever this season.
This is a tough team to analyze. You could point to a couple plays here and there where you wish he wouldn't have done that. There was a couple missed throws he had against the Ravens, right?
Yeah, but I love it. We got to have him continue to take chances. Kirk Cousins taking chances is a better Kirk Cousins.
I don't know, dude. I don't see this team coming out. I'm just being cynical is what it is. So I think it's like 24-17 Vikes or something like that.
All right.
Let's say we're going to take the L here on the road.
Again, you're saying we take the L?
Yeah, dude.
Yo,
I don't know. I want to believe in this team, dude. I want to.
Debbie Downer.
I think we're going to turn the corner here, but I don't know. This just, like you said, it's just kind of a trap game for me. The Niners are a weird matchup. Remember a couple years ago, that Monday Night Football game we had where they just blew us out of the water? They had that freaking running back from Ohio State. What was his name? That torched us.
I can't remember
now. Yeah. I mean, this is a few years ago now, but it's like, I don't know. We look bad. And I just kind of keep thinking back on that game and like some stuff is going to happen with us there. We don't do well in the Bay Area. And I don't know.
God, don't come to Vikings Weekly for happiness. We got Debbie Downer. We hardly even have Vikings
fan base here. We've got to be a little cynical, right? I mean, the team hasn't really. We've proven our inconsistencies week in and week out. I mean, we had to go down and kick a freaking field goal, dude. We almost pissed that game away against the Packers. I don't know, dude. That's kind of how this team is.
All right. I'm gonna go 27-17 Vikes.
All right, run with it. 10-point game.
Yeah.
Listen, and
what's the spread?
No one will be more excited than me if we win, right?
What's the spread?
3.5. Niners.
They're giving the Niners the game? But that's just that's a home.
I think it opened at 2, So
that's just a homer pick. So it's a 50-50 ball game. They have no idea.
Yeah, you can technically just hand 3 points to the home team, right?
Right. So that's what they're saying there. Okay. They have no respect. Vegas has no respect.
Listen, if we just don't give up run plays on the ground, like huge 40, 50-yard gains, we'll be fine. But if you start seeing their backs get loose, wiggling in space, they have some weird screens. That is I worry about this team. That's what I'm saying. It's can our defense really hold the line?
All right. So that's the take today. That's what we got. You got anything else that you need? How
are we going to do on third down? How are we going to do on first down? Literally, I just micromanage every little single detail of this team on defense. If we can push it away early downs, I think we have a chance.
I think that we suck so much on third down because we're so bad on first. I think we're usually putting ourselves in a position to not have favorable third down opportunities. So I see a lot of people overanalyzing the third down and saying the Vikings are just a bad third down team. I actually think we're one of the worst first down teams, which then leads to being just in shitty positions in third down.
I don't know, man.
That's a deep analysis.
I'm just so cognitively torn with this team right now. You know.
All right. Well, that's where we're at today. Got the game coming up pretty soon here. Got Johnny Sweets in the place, always there for
on the spectrum, doing it. Just we're giving our random thoughts and ramblings. This one was definitely more like I don't know. I can't get a firm pulse on this team. Just can't. They're just week in and week out, such an erratic team, and it's just been stressing. It's like I just can't. I don't know. I want to get behind and excited about this team. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. That's what we want to root for here. 3 wins in a row is our goal here.
Mm-hmm. That's what I see. That I like that.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Random thoughts and ideas. LJ,
give them a skull.
Yeah.
Skull.
Go Vikes.
All right.